Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a new week of SPFBO News Weekly. This is the place where you come for summarized, self-published fantasy blog off news. And goodness gracious, it is a news week today. Over 45 debut fantasy novels are in SPFBO. I had no idea there was going to be so many. There have been 9 new cuts and a new semi-finalist. I do not get any sort of reimbursement for clicks on any of the books or links or anything in this. I'm just a participant trying to pay it forward to my peers here. So if you would like to support the work that I do, compiling all of this for you guys, a like on this video, a comment, a subscribe would mean the world to me. Hey, Steve. Hey, Shelly. Good to see you on. Let's dive right in because we've got a lot to go over this evening. So as I said earlier, there are over 45 SPFBO debut novels this year. And actually, as of the time that I started this, since I announced what was coming tonight, I've heard from more authors. There is exactly 50 now who have reached out to me. So I will be adding the missing books. If you're watching, I will be adding them. And if you're watching the replay and I missed your book, feel free to drop me a comment and I will make sure to add it to the blog post. If you want to see the entire list, I am going to go over it briefly tonight, but if you want to take time and look at all of them, I have compiled every single one of these books on my blog. The link is in the description box, or you can go to katherinedgraham.com/blog to see them all. So let's dive in here. There are so many good books from so many different genres, and I did not split these up by blog. I actually listed these in the order that they came into me. And Garden Gnome's on, Mike's on, Catherine's on. Hey, everybody. So the first one is Shadows That Bind Us. And then we have Light Above, Bloodborne Dragon, Galaxy of Thorns, Petition, Autumn Chaos, The Unchosen, and Evergreens and Aspen Trees. And if you're wondering, what is a debut novel? A debut novel means that this was the first book that this author put out. And it's really exciting because these people took the plunge to submit their debut novel to a panel of judges for consideration to win the self-published fantasy blog off this year, which is organized by Mark Lawrence. There are 300 competitors, and as I said, there's about 50 total right now who have all put these out. So even if these books didn't make the cut for the semifinalists, it's definitely worth checking a lot of these out as well. Oh, wow. Stay up till 1:30 a.m. Well, thank you for joining us, JP. Oh, yes. And JS is on. Hey. Yeah, that's commitment right there. That is commitment. Moving on over, again, for people who are hopping on, I see people are still joining. You can see the whole list on my blog, so if you come in late, don't worry. But we have Beta. We have Exile of Zanzibar. We have The Crown Prince. No Heart for a Thief. The Vermilion Blade. The Crossing. Becoming a Druid. And Vanishing Ink here. We still got people joining. Good to see you on. Let's see here. A Searing Faith, The Sunset Sovereign, The Awakening Fire, King Rice, Wings of Ashtaroth, Bastards of Liberty, Under the Lesser Moon, and The Garden Gnome. I'm going to pause here and say, if you have not seen the SPFBO blogs and the SPFBO live reads on the channel, there's a whole playlist, and some of these books, like Wings of Ashtaroth, Steve came on and read live. So before you throw your money down to support these indie authors who are definitely deserving, and if you want to check it out and see if the books are for you, you can listen to some of those straight from the authors and see what you think. And there's an entire playlist for that on my channel. Here we go. We have The Ocean of Others, Traitors We Are, Daughters of Tith, The Hand of God, Credible Threats, Starlight Jewel, The Yakni's Eye and Eve's Apple. And then we have A Crown of Blood, Carved Amidst the Shadows, Obsidian, The Bleeding Stone, Candle Children, Soul, River in the Galaxy. I can read. I love that cover too. Platinum Tinted Darkness. And this is the last round for what is there. I will again add the ones that are missing later this evening. So thank you to the people who sent me yours after you found out this video was coming. Stars and Ravens, The Price of Power, The Way of Renegades, To Steal the Sun, Vebin Song, The Untold Prophecy, Truth of Crowns, and The Relic Thief. Yes, Candle Children is such a cool title. I've read some of these books, and I've gotten into some of these others. I'm very excited about a lot of them. If you have read them, I'd love to hear which ones you're reading in the comments. There are definitely some that I picked up solely because of the cover, so I don't know if you're like me, but very excited. So those are over 45 of the debut authors. There are some very impressive titles here to be from a debut author. So definitely go check those out and give the author some support with their books as well. If you would like to read some SPFBO books for great deals, there are 2 that are running specials this week. The Wickwire Watch is 99 cents through August 14th. And I heard today, 11 minutes before I was putting all my presentation together, that the Briar Crown is looking for audiobook readers who are willing to read and review the book, and they're willing to give it out for free. So I put the link to that in the description box. I don't know how long that form will be open, but I've heard great things from the Briar Crown, or about the Briar Crown, and I believe it's one of the ones that we have heard a live excerpt of on the channel as well. Let's see, reading Seeds of War right now, which I think is a debut. Oh, I'll have to look into that. Price of Power has such a killer cover. The backstory of that cover is on the panel interview that we did with the author, and it is very funny, and it is worth looking to because it's just very cool how they went about it. So many of these look good. Yeah, so excited to listen. Got your copy yesterday. Look at you, Steve. So yeah, you got one that you can grab for 99 cents and one that you can potentially grab for free. Moving into the actual SPFBO contest, today on SPFBO News Weekly, there have been, as I said earlier, 9 new books cut, but also a brand new semi-finalist. And yes, I did go through and manually watch Philip Chase's entire video to doubly make sure and settle any debates that there has been a new semi-finalist, and we will announce that semi-finalist tonight if you have missed the video. Yay. All right. Right now, there are 0 finalists yet, 7 total semifinalists, 43 books have been cut, up from 34 last week, and 250 are either not semifinalists or have not been cut yet. Some of those have been read, but they just have not had a decision made. Let's jump into what those are. This week, Fantasy Faction is still holding tight at 30, but we're coming up on deadlines. So who wants to guess how many weeks it's going to be before we start seeing books fall off for Fantasy Faction? Fantasy Book Critic is holding at 18 books left to read, 9 books cut, and 3 semifinalists right now. Lynn's Books and the Critiquing Chemist is also still holding on and quiet. Moving into the Weatherwax report, though, we are up to 3 books cut now out of the 6 that they have read. No semifinalists yet, so that leaves 3 that are still hanging in there for consideration. We're going to raise a drink to the most recent fallen from the Weatherwax report. That would be the 2 that you see on your screen in front of you, Chimera and Vebin Song. I'm sorry, Jonathan, if you're watching and I'm mispronouncing the name of your book. But some very deep reviews for these cuts. And if you're new to the series, as I always say, just because one specific blogger didn't like certain aspects of a book doesn't mean that it may not be the book for you. So definitely check out the reviews because you might find a jewel yourself, even if it wasn't a good fit. Thank you, everybody. Raising glasses to the fallen here. Luna, Steve, and Katherine, and JP. Becky M is holding at 6 books cut. No new semifinalists this week. 20 books left to read. Before We Go blog has 4 books cut, 1 semifinalist. Yeah, the reviews did make me super interested too, Steve. I actually bumped one of those 2 books up on my TBR because of the review. 25 books left to read. Queen's Book Asylum, here is where some more cuts are coming. They are cranking through their books. At this point, they are very well positioned to be one of the first bloggers finished if they keep up their current rate, unless we're just surprised out of left field by somebody. They have read 16 books, 15 of them have been cut, and there has been 1 semi-finalist. And I gotta say, I was so sad to see Platinum Tinted Darkness personally on the cut list, but when you have this many good books, there's bound to be some great books that fall. So Platinum Tinted Darkness got cut this week, as did The Untold Prophecy by R.R. Hunter. We're raising our glasses to you guys, and huge kudos to you for putting out, for putting out your books. I knew that this one was going to be a particularly hard week for viewers who really love reading these books, because I have seen them all over Twitter. So condolences to the fallen. Bookborn is now up to 8 books read, nothing cut, no semifinalists yet. And here it comes. Philip Chase. Philip Chase has been very quiet. If you've watched the last 4 episodes of SPFBO News Weekly, you know it's been very quiet. But Philip is talking. He's got a video review that goes into great detail, and 5 new books have been cut this week on Philip Chase's blog. So we have A Twist of Fate, which is in the Orders Trials series. We have Mystic Mist, A Single Spark, The Dungeon That Walks Like a Man, and The Path to Vihan are all cut this week. So this is the first round of cuts here for Philip Chase's blog. I take my hat off to all the books who are in that first round of cuts, because I know that's especially hard. Yes, we've got 5 drinks here. Yes. This was a big, brutal week for Philip Chase's team, but some really thoughtful, insightful reviews that will hopefully help those books find some ideal readers. Covers with Cassidy maintains its holding at 1 book cut, 1 semifinalist, and is down to 16 books left to read. Thank you, everybody. Raising drinks to the fallen here. So this brings us to the new semifinalist. And I've been watching the Discords today, and I was like, yes, there is a new semifinalist. And that semifinalist is A Gamble of Gods by Mitriel Faywood. Congratulations. Hail to the newest semifinalist to join the group. This brings the number of semifinalists in Self-Published Fantasy Blog Off number 9 to 7 total semifinalists. Super excited. It was obvious that Philip loved a lot of aspects of this book. I'm not going to spoil it, but I do have the links to all the bloggers in SPFBO in the description box, so you can just scroll down to Philip Chase's, click his if you'd like to watch his blog firsthand, and hear all the good things he has to say about this book. So that's very, very exciting. Again, SPFBO News Weekly is a weekly broadcast where you can come and just catch up on who's been cut, who's been kept, some other random for fun SPFBO news without having to search all over the internet for it. I've got all the links for you for everything from Mark Lawrence's blog, who organizes it, to the specific bloggers, to the sales I mentioned, all in the description box on YouTube for you guys. So if you would like to stay in the know about SPFBO, come back every Monday at 8:30, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications when it goes live. Thank you all so much for being here. Have a great rest of your day.